In this episode, we are talking to Shaurav Nandi. He works as a statistician here. So, Shaurav, welcome to the show.
Hello,
And
Nithin.
just so that the audience know who you are, can you briefly explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thanks a lot for this opportunity. It's like great that I've experienced person like you is trying to connect with others and share the knowledge to the community. It's a really great initiative. Really appreciate it. Great to be here. Yeah. So currently I'm working as a statistician in Symphony AI, a startup in Bangalore. So yeah, for as long as I can remember, I've been interested in mathematics, physics, and science in general. This kind of ideas, different sparks in science, those were very those things that attracted me towards a journey. Let's say towards the truth. Yeah. And so I completed my bachelor's in statistics from University of Calcutta. University of Calcutta, it's a very prestigious institution. It's one of the first institutions in Asia who started a Western style interdisciplinary curriculum. Yeah. So after that I was pursuing a master's degree in statistics from IIT Kanpur, and there I came to know about this very exciting field of data science. And nowadays that all these things are coming out as digital, so there's a lot of data, a lot of insights to gain, and lot of it's kind of a gold mine, and you can just mine insights from it. So yeah, so I thought it'd be a good idea to learn about these things. So yeah, from campus earlier in bachelor's I thought that I should be should try to apply my knowledge to real world problems and projects. So yeah, industry job was a good choice. And I did an internship in Ford Motors in Chennai. That was a really great experience, and I got a few offers from some MNCs, including Ford. But I thought of joining a startup so that the learning experience it helps me a lot, especially early in my career. So I joined the startup Symphony AI in Bangalore. It's been a great learning experience and great to be here, Nithin.
Yeah,
Looking forward to meeting.
yeah, that's some a really great journey. Like you went from you did your bachelor's, then you went into IIT, then you did an internship, then you're working in the startup. So I'm just gonna come back to like your education, where you did your degree from IIT. So people in India, everyone will know what IIT is. But for anyone listening outside India, can you tell everyone like how does it differ from other institutions in India? How hard it is to get into IIT, the whole process, and
So, Government of India started these IITs and institutions like ISC to instill science education among the general population and to give India more rigorous and prestigious place in the world. Because we have a lot of people, so that's why, and a very few number of seats, the competition comes into play. So, like some lakhs of people will be applying, some few people will be selected. So, JEE, that's a bachelor's level exam that is very competitive. The course that I am pursuing is masters. For that, you have GATE and JAM, this type of exams. Those are not that competitive as JEE, but yet it's like some selection ratio could be, so maybe some 4,000-5,000 people will apply and some 50 people will be selected. So you can see it's a yeah. In terms of the course curriculum and in terms of the opportunities, I will say the major thing is that in most of the Indian other engineering colleges or normal colleges that we go into and we have access to, the major problem is that we are taught in a way that there is a fixed syllabus. You have to memorize the syllabus. You have to then go there and then just follow the standard set of methods. And that's a major way. Like something, you have to just absorb it and then go there and then throw it out.
yeah, you just
But
study for the exam.
yeah, study for the exams and
Yeah,
not the practical problem in mind. But in IITs, a major different thing is we hate rote memorization. You are encouraged to think for yourself. There is some problem in mind, and you are encouraged to explore the way. So there are some many interesting things like let's say open book exam. Many professors would be very scared to see in most of the colleges. At most of the colleges, we have seen that professors they follow notes and very structures very rigorously. But here you can just explore in your own way. Another thing that I would say is that definitely in like this prestige and this kind of things, I don't believe in these things so much because even in normal colleges, I have seen like many youngsters trying their very best and giving their 100%. Some professors who are going out of their way to help the students as much as they can. So yeah, nowadays, now that we have access to information, access to resources, education is being democratized. But having said that, being in having a good brand name in your resume definitely helps. Yeah. So this is
Okay.
not a this is not a necessary thing, but yeah, definitely helps. Yeah.
Yeah,
In terms of this.
yeah. I think the main thing is like maybe prestigious is the wrong word. Main thing is like the exposure and a different kind of thinking that you will
Yeah.
get from this institution. That is the main thing. So
Yeah.
just so that everyone will be watching, can you tell everyone like how did you prepare for the exam and what tips and advice can you give to people who will be preparing
Sure.
for
Sure.
and to see in
Mm-hmm.
to get into
Yeah.
our role?
So definitely. So the major thing is that you have to really understand the concepts behind the things. Like you can't just memorize some questions and their answers. You have to really understand what's going on,
So it's a strong
and
foundation, isn't it? Yeah.
a strong foundation, and also the interrelationship between the skills. So
Okay.
you learn one skill and a different skill. You have to think about how you can use it in a real world scenario, and how the thing is connected to the previous thing, and the whole mind map. That is very important, I think. And another very important thing is to practice some problems. Like having the concept is not enough. You have to really use the skills in terms of some problems. You'll definitely be doing some mistakes. You have to learn from that. Like I am doing this type of mistakes, and you have to correct them. That is one thing I'll say. Second thing is that I have seen very helpful is having a peer group really helps. So I did something in this. So when I was in bachelor's, I used to approach some seniors, some people who are already in IITs or different institutions, and some of them definitely were very helpful, but some of them didn't reply. As it happens, people are busy, no one has the time to. So then I thought that if I any day if I go there, I should prepare some kind of platform to help the students. So now I have created a platform where we are giving some guidance for free to the students and the juniors, and they are also helping themselves. So this was initiative because earlier I saw that this kind of statistical education is central to some parts of India where we have good colleges, and the others, maybe a student studying from a remote village, he or she may not have access to that kind of infrastructure, that kind of resources. So we thought it would be good to have some kind of community for knowledge sharing. As the thing that you are also doing, your thing is in a global level, and my thing is targeted in for Indian students for statistics.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
what you said is really, really right. Like, I've only asked about IIT, but it's true for any good universities or colleges. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's all about what you gain from it. So, what you said applies to wherever you apply, any good places that you apply. Like, you need to understand the foundations properly,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have a very good point. Like, you should be able to interconnect the different concepts together, and then a peer group where you can there's lots of communities meetups and things like that, isn't it, where you can go meet new people and then take it from there. Not like not like we said before, don't learn to just pass the exam, just understand the
Yeah, yeah.
concepts, and
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day when you get in the job, that's what's going to help you, like the practical knowledge, the applications, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
another thing I believe is that because we are in a privileged position to have the opportunity to, like our parents' generation, they have sacrificed a lot for this. And so we should be trying to pass this knowledge that as you
Exactly.
are also doing, and I am also doing in my limited capability.
Yeah, that's really great. Like,
Yeah.
I will post the link to that group underneath the video, so everyone can see
Sure.
and join that as well. So people watching this will be really interested to know what is the difference between a statistician and a data scientist.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
So data science is basically a way to extract the insights from data. And so data science can be thought as an intersection between statistics, machine learning, mathematics, computer science, and these type of things. I don't like this discussions against statistics versus machine learning scientists versus deep learning scientists and all these things.
Yeah.
But in general, yeah, to just give an idea, there's a very interesting quote. A data scientist is a software engineer who learns more statistics than a software engineer, and a statistician who knows more statistics than a
Computer scientist.
the counterpart.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So yeah, that kind of thing is there. So basically, yeah, but definitely one thing is that this designation doesn't matter that much once you are in the industry. So you have some kind of designations, but you are anyway working with data and learning on the go. But the major distinction from someone coming from a computer science background is that they will be strong in coding part and they will have to pick up this statistics foundations. And for a person like me, I am strong in the statistics part. I am learning the computer science parts on the go. And there are like hundreds of things. You can't learn everything beforehand. You have to pick up skills on the go. Yeah. So sometimes for the beginners, it becomes very something like in the JDs, there are like hundreds of things, hundreds of skills you have to learn and all this stuff. How can I do this? So yeah, it's not like that. You can just start from a basic set and then you can go.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you, it's really important. Like sometimes people get overwhelmed when you see this job description. Like I don't think that anyone can fulfill that many. Like employers' way to like stop people from applying. Only the really experienced people from applying. So that's why they put these. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be selected if you have the right skill set. So it's really important.
So yeah, we need to spread this message, as you said.
Exactly. Don't get overwhelmed by that job description. That comes to my next question. Like if someone is starting out into this field, what are some of the core statistical concepts that they should learn to start with when they start their journey?
Yeah, sure. So the basic thing is to understand what is probability and the basic concepts like mean, median, mode, and how to apply them. So just to give you an example, when we have some kind of numerical values for a set of individuals, we can apply say mean. So you can say that the average score, the mean score of a class is something. But when would you use median instead of mean? So then you can think of some cases like, let's say grade. Let's say you have got grade A, I have got grade B. What is the average grade? We don't know. Then we have to use things like median. So basically, when you have numerical values, then only you can use mean. If there is no numerical value, how do you calculate mean? You don't have the option. So you have to go to median. Then similarly, there is mode, where there may not be even an ordering. Like in grades, there is A, B, C, D, E, but maybe you are considering something like, let's say, religion. If I ask, what is the average religion of India? You can't answer it using mean or median. You can say that the number of this type of religious people is the highest. So that is a mode. So these kind of concepts actually helps a lot. And other than that, there are many beautiful concepts like expectation. So just to give you a practical example, expectation is the expected value over the long run. Let's say the people who are doing gambling or buying lottery tickets, what's wrong with that? Yeah, here is what is wrong. So let's say you are doing an experiment 10,000 times. You're just buying 10,000 lottery tickets. If you just win once and lose all other times, and if you calculate the whole winning, that will come up as something negative. So in the long run, you won't win anything, rather you will lose. So this is the idea, to give in very crude and simple terms.
Yeah.
That in the long run, what is the average return you are going to get? So why someone shouldn't gamble? So if someone learns these type of concepts and they can relate to this real life, it will be very helpful, and they can actually understand what is the use of these things and why you should learn these things.
Yeah. So so some probability and some basic like mean, median, mode, and then the applications, isn't it?
And then there are different. There are different beautiful things like law of large number, central limit theorem. Then there is skewness kurtosis. A very beautiful thing is p-value. What is it and how should we use that? And there are other really important aspects, like to give some example from probability distribution. What is a discrete distribution? What is a continuous distribution?
Yeah.
What is probability mass function, probability density function? And people have many misconceptions in that in this type of things that I have seen, because in computer science there are lots of good materials available on internet, but statistics we don't have that much kind of information. So we are also trying to create some posts, and probably with time many number of people are joining and open source contributions are there. Just to give you an example, let's say this concepts of bagging and the crowd of the wisdom of the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you are making a decision, you're building a decision tree based on some decision. Uh, this have building multiple trees and like taking a vote among a large class of population, that will give you a much more consistent result. So these type of concepts are there, and then there are things like placebo effect and let's say double blind experiment. When you are doing design of experiments, how these concepts come into play, these kind of interpretations. So yeah, this type of like separate concepts are there, which as a whole gives you a whole idea of the thing.
Yeah, that's really a great point. Like one of the things that always like stuck in my mind when I was learning statistics is like you mentioned wisdom of crowd and law of large numbers. Someone I don't remember the
Yeah.
instructor. He said like if there is like law of stones in a jar, and then there is the game like guess the numbers of stones, and some people come and guess it, guess it, guess it. If you stand next to that person and note down what each person said, and in the evening, if you calculate, if you add it all and take the average, and you say that, then probably the very much near to the number of stones in that jar. So that is something someone said like
Yeah,
that really
the
clicked in my mind.
spark. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
that really
so
happens.
that's really important. Like you also mentioned not enough resources for statistics. Like everywhere you look, the only book that you get referred is Elements of Statistical Learning.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
that's the only book that you get referred all the time. So can you say some any other like good resources where
Sure.
people can learn like basic
Yeah.
statistics and probability?
Hmm. So one thing I will say is that in terms of open source resources, there are lots of great resources like let's say MIT OpenCourseware or Stanford online courses, Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a very easy one. There are a lot of MOOC courses like Coursera, EDX, IBM Cognitive Class, Udemy, and Udacity, and lots of things like that. Even there are many YouTube channels which you can definitely refer to. So nowadays the problem is not like availability of resources that much, but rather where to go and where to stop. Actually,
Yeah.
there's like thousands of things.
Which
Yeah,
the whole point is like which resource to select. That's the main thing.
yeah.
Like
One other thing that I will say that there's some really good textbooks like Cassela Berger, Sheldon Ross, Mood Greville Boyes. So we can link them in the description later. But yeah, so there are some really foundational books, Rohat Pisale, which can be very helpful to grab the concepts and have to develop some kind of understanding of the whole scenario.
and sometimes you don't need to be like more very complex as well, because when I started I just bought a book, Statistics for Dummies, to start with.
Yeah,
Just
really, right? Yeah,
it was a
for
brilliant
dummies
book.
is a
Yeah,
wonderful series.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you don't
they
need to
just
like
yeah
sometimes you don't need to
they
go like
have
very
these
complex.
drawings
You
and
can just start with
yeah,
the Dummies book, isn't it?
that's a great idea. You'll have a appreciation for the subject, and yeah, that visual kind of representation that definitely helps. Another thing I will say is that it's good to have some kind of understanding of what a modeling is and how are we trying to imitate a real world scenario using mathematics. So there's a great quote by George Box: all models are wrong, but some are useful.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea is that you can't actually 100% imitate a real world situation, but the mechanism you can try to imitate that in some way. And if you actually get to understand some kind of the procedure behind this, then it's definitely helps.
Yeah.
And to this point, I will come to that. So nowadays, when you are seeing many deep learning methods, those are very complex, and we don't have sometimes the understanding of the mechanism that is going on. So in these scenarios, in real cases, sometimes a very simple model might be more helpful and less risky than a very complex, let's say, very large neural network architecture, something like that.
Yeah. So that's really important. Like the modeling concepts are some of the things that people struggle to understand intuitively, isn't it? So
And another good idea to have an understanding of the popular probability distributions, like let's say in continuous normal distributions,
yeah.
and then let's say exponential distribution, gamma distribution, to just have some idea, a log normal and other kind of distributions, and in say discrete binomial, hypergeometric, Poisson, and this type of. So just to because these things appear in real world scenario again and again, to have some kind of understanding would be really helpful before just jumping into some kind of model and just having some results. Yeah,
Okay.
that is
So
something definitely. And another thing to this point is, I'll come to another of my favorite quote by Ronald Coase. That is, if you torture the data enough, it will confess.
confess, yeah.
So yeah, so when you are going to approach a problem, you shouldn't have some kind of hidden bias in your mind that I'll try to have this result in this way, or this will be my end goal. That will actually, like, if you have a hypothesis already in your mind that you are selecting only the results that are matching to your own bias, that would be very dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really important. Like, sometimes it happens to everyone. You just think like, okay, you know the data, and then you're already expecting these kind of
Yeah.
results, and then you're doing things to your data so that you'll get these results. That's really important. That you don't go down that route, and always
Yeah. Yeah.
just keep an
It's
open
a
mind about what results you might get from the data. That's really, really important. So
that's very
so that's a very detailed explanation of like what are the core skills people need to get into this field. Um, um, where can they start learning these skills? Some of the resources you mentioned, and then that comes on to my next question. Like, there's this different fields in data science umbrella, like machine learning engineer, data engineer, statistician, data scientist, data analyst. So someone who likes data, who likes to bring insights from data, visualize data. So should they worry about like which role they should aim for when they start out? Like, okay, I'm going to be a statistician, or I'm going to be a data scientist, or I'm going to be an analyst, or should they just start and then
yeah.
increase their knowledge and then apply for
So
jobs?
yeah, so I have seen people say that yeah, data analyst is a beginner, then you have to be senior analyst, then data scientist. But I don't believe in these kind of things, and I think in like there's no industry standard in terms of this. So one analyst role in one company, maybe a data scientist equivalent to a data scientist role in another company. The things they're doing, they're exactly similar. So I don't think these things are that much important. It's very important to get started, have the concepts in mind, and don't think about these like quote unquote these titles so much, and that I have to be a data scientist like that. But yeah, like definitely so because these things are new, there's no industry driven standard, and probably with time they will grow. But right now I don't see any kind of consensus between yeah, industry and between the different verticals to understand that this should be the goal of our journey. And in most of the companies I know that they are actually, some buzzword is there, yeah, it's machine learning scientist, but then the work you are doing, that's mostly similar, that everyone is trying to work with data, and we are trying to gain insights. And so everyone will be good in some things and weak in some things. Like my strength is statistics, my weakness is computer science, so I'm learning on those concepts and I'm picking up the skills. So that thing is true for everyone. And also another thing is, whatever you have learned, you will also forget them. So you have to again use Google, use Stack Overflow, and then go back to these things again and again. So these things happen to everyone, and this is a part of our journey. I'm sure you must have also faced with these things. So yeah,
Yeah. So
that
yeah, that's very good point. Like, practice is everything, and then you need to keep updating yourself, so because so that's really good advice on then don't worry about the titles. Just bring
yeah,
study
just
your
go into
foundations,
it.
and then you take it from there.
Yeah.
When would someone know, like if someone want to get into this field, and they had these foundations and then they studied, so what kind of roles should they apply as an entry level kind of role,
Sure, sure.
in your opinion?
So yeah, the major problem here is to get an opportunity to just break into. Some people ask me, should we start with internship? Should we only apply for paid internships, or should we also be open to non-paid ones? So to this point, I will say that whatever opportunity you are getting, if you don't have any experience, just go into that. Try to learn the industry processes, experiences. That's very helpful. Even if maybe they are not able to pay you for a month or two, if you are delivering enough value, they will definitely recognize that and they will promote you. And another things is that there are many sites like Upwork and Freelancer and all these sites where even if you don't have a full-time job, you can go learn from them. And even if you are not able to get that, there's another way is to just approach someone, some businesses, and who might have some kind of database, and try to give them this kind of insights, try to help them. and if you can bring value to them, then that's the most important thing, I think. And that kind of exposure, there are many NGOs who are actually in their need of this type of things. So these are positions, so you can just go and volunteer and just go into this field. Don't just stuck to only this data science competitions. Those are very helpful, but then you also have to work with real world data. So one very important point I've seen is that in academia or in this kind of competitions, mostly we have very clean data, and we can just start running models and then increase the accuracy by a very minute percentage. But in real world, just to have an understanding of the data, to get the data in proper way, to understand what kind of design of experiment, like how should we design the experiments to get the real quality data, these things are very important. And sometimes we don't need very complex models, we need a very simple model to understand what's going on behind the picture. And sometimes it's very important also, because sometimes if you don't have understanding of the mechanism, then the kind of AI that we build, that might inherit this kind of biases that we already have. So that kind of this trade-off is there. So
that's really a good point there. Like it's all about, even if it's an unpaid internship, or a non-voluntary or a non-profit organization, you just go and work there, and then you can't put a price on the skills that you get from there, isn't it? Because when I started, I did an internship, and then it was one of the most knowledgeable time of my life, where I get to work with different data scientists, and I can think of how they think, how they approach a problem. So that is something that I still use in my work, what I learned from there. So it's really important that you only look at like what you can learn, rather than if you're getting paid or things like that. Money will come when you learn that knowledge, and then you apply it in your future also. That's really important.
And that is real world knowledge is very important, like building models on book knowledge and just model data sets, that is very much different from the real world.
Exactly.
Another very important thing I would try to focus on is, whenever you are building some models, they have some kind of assumptions. Let's say when you are doing linear regression, you are assuming many things like independence of the predictors, no multicollinearity, and this kind of constant variance. So you also have to have some kind of understanding that what's actually going on, and not just applying the thing, but rather are we actually validating all the assumptions. Let's say the normality assumption is there. Is the data actually from a normal distribution? If it is not, we can transform it using some kind of way. So I will also link to this kind of some materials that people can learn from. So that is also another thing. Like whatever we are applying, are we actually satisfying the assumptions behind them? That is very important.
Exactly. So
as beginners, I also had this mindset that I have to learn very complex models, and this like very sexy term, and I have to use that. But I try to control that approach. That will be there, but
we are just one more question left, so we are at the end of our interview. So everyone will be watching to know, like, if you could give anyone that is starting out into this field, if you are asked to give, okay, you can give one main advice to someone starting out, what would that be?
So one advice that I think very important is, sometimes we start collecting all these materials and then we don't go through them and get intimidated after that, when you have some 100 books and 200 video tutorials and all this stuff. Don't do that. Just start it. Just start learning, and just keep going. There will be, whenever you don't know something. The major idea could be to start with some real problem, a project. Start to solve them. Whenever you don't understand something, go into Google, search it. Go into Stack Overflow, search it, and discuss with others. So learn in this way. Don't get intimidated. And as people can see from you also, you have to start. You have to continue learning. You don't have to, you should not stop learning, and you shouldn't feel that I have already done, it's okay now, I can just live happily ever after. But you have to continue to improve yourself, and there are lots of things every day coming out. Don't get intimidated, just learn slowly, start slowly. So that's the thing. I think
exactly.
No need to get intimidated. And if you can do it in such a senior phase in your career, you can totally pivot into a different channel, and then start again, and then I think it's a very inspiring news story. Also very inspiring to everyone who will be watching, and who may not be from a technical code science or statistics or computer science background, but let's say a general background, but he has some kind of appreciation for these buzzwords, the AI, data science, and he or she wants to contribute, that they can, because it's not about these technicalities, but the ideas and this kind of things. And I think everyone brings with their own experience some kind of different perspective, which is very helpful to the field in general.
Yeah. That's really good advice. Where don't get intimidated. You need to. Every expert that you see today, they started from somewhere, isn't it? So when they started, they probably don't know anything about it. So, but the important thing is to start rather than getting intimidated with it. And then exactly like you said, don't stop practicing. Always keep on practicing, and then be patient, and then you will definitely get there. And then make use of these communities. As well.
Another thing I would like to add is that try to have some kind of expertise in some domain, like mine is statistics, yours might be some kind of, as you did your Greenwich masters, so that kind of expertise. Someone might be good in, let's say, some kind of domain, or someone may be good in algorithms. So some kind of niche, that could be a domain, that could be some skill set, that definitely helps.
That specialization in some area will really help. So that's a good point as well. Like you can, when you go for the interview, you can say like, okay, I have a general idea about everything, but my specialty is, for example, random forest algorithm, or I'm very good in classification.
I know, all over it. That you can say.
Or NLP. I'm really good in NLP. So as much as you want you want to be learning everything, it's really good to have that specialized knowledge in some area that will really help as well. Thank you for sharing that insight. So we've reached the end of the interview now. Thank you so much for
great talking to you. And thanks to you actually for taking this opportunity to share this knowledge with everyone. And anyway, I'm always reachable to anyone, to any questions. Most of my social handles are basically Souravstat, SOURAVSTAT, and yours, you can also link yours.
Okay.
And anyone can message me on LinkedIn or say Quora or anything. Just send an email, or also to you, just for any further queries. And I think it's a great initiative on your part to try to share this knowledge and having time from a busy schedule to do that. And I think we should do these kind of things to spread the knowledge and connect with other people.
It's all one big community, isn't it? So just share knowledge and help out each other.
I'm 100% sure the posts you put up, they inspired all of us, including me. And it's thanks, and please continue doing them.
Thank you very much, Rahul.
Great talking to you. Have a great day.